28th annual running of the Team Hare Scramble Championship of the World, my friends. And that is, again, yes, 28th annual Team Hare Scramble Championship of the World. The most fun on 2 and 4 wheels. And this Saturday, November 17th, will be the motorcycles, and Sundays will be the ATVs. And the man that is behind all of this is one of the nation's premier promoters. He's been around for a long, long time and kind of set the standard many, many years ago as far as what racing was concerned, and that is one Drew Wolf. So stand by for that as we say thanks to our friends at Impact Solutions, ATV.com. And Impact Solutions, your factory-authorized service center for Elka Suspension. They are your U.S. headquarters, and Elka Suspension, by the way, is taking right now the resumes for the upcoming 2013 season, so make sure you get those in. And Impact Solutions ATV on the World Wide Web as well at Facebook, and you can find them over there in Parkersburg, West Virginia. As we say good afternoon to one Drew Wolf. And Drew, I hope that you can get me today. I know that we have got some weather conditions going on here, and my signal, whether it be cell phone or whether it be actual internet services, sometimes unfortunately governed by what the weather is. And the weather's a little bit dreary today, but that's kind of actually a good thing in some sense, because what it does is it kind of gets the racetrack pre-watered for you. From what I understand, we got a good weekend ahead of us weather-wise.
Yeah, that's what I understand, Rodney. I watched the weather forecast all when that 10 days out that we've got good weather coming. I just pray that it holds, and as we're getting closer to the weekend, it looks like we've got great weather coming.
Yes, for sure. And I know that this 28th year, and man, I don't know how many years it's been that I've been involved with the Team Hare Scramble Championship of the World, but gosh, it's been probably 10 years or better, maybe even closer to 15 at this particular point, that I've been coming out and having a good time most every fall. I know there's been a couple of falls I think it kind of skipped, if I'm not mistaken, but all in all, for the most falls over the last 10 or 15 years, I know I've been coming hanging out with you on this weekend.
Yeah, the time that we have had, these are early 90s, and it's always been in the fall, and we got so much rain and snow the weekend of the race that we held it in April. Other than that, we haven't skipped a year.
Okay.
And so we've had very good success, and we have a pretty good-sized program. Every year I kind of wonder which way to go. It seems like we have a better rider turnout if we run in November, but the time change, and so we're running pretty close to dark by the end of the day. But it's a great program, and everybody has a good time.
Yeah, and man, I mean, talk about the history of this thing a little bit. Like you say, it's been 28 years. I mean, this is 3 decades, nearly 3 complete decades that you've been doing this. So I'm going to assume you started this in, what, around 1988 or so?
84.
84.
Was the first year. Yeah. And, I kind of like doing one-off things. I did, not a pure arena cross, and then I did an indoor jet ski race in Columbus, Ohio, and but this Team Hare Scramble was the first thing I did, and I just like doing things that are a little bit different. And I to tell you the truth, the title of this thing, the Championship of the World, started out to be a joke, and it's just turned into the biggest event outdoor-wise that I do, and I look forward to this event more than any that I do all year long.
And it's probably one of the simplest events that you do, actually. I mean, because everybody that comes there, it's a mindset of coming to have fun, right?
For the most part, the vast majority is, but there are people that still come out here and are very serious about it. And we take it seriously, too. I mean, as far as the scoring goes, it used to be kind of a deal where people would just come and some people would get a ringer and and they'd run most of the laps and win it, and it kind of ruined the mood for some of the other people. So we implemented a rule probably in the 80s that the low man on the team had to run 30% or 33% or something like that of the laps. And then they found a way around that the time you did plus or minus a lap. So now it's, if you're going to race this thing, that you have to be the low man, the rider with the least amount of laps on your team has to be within one lap of 50% of your team's total laps. So just for instance, if you run 10 laps, 50% of that is 5, and one less than that is 4. So even the fast guy can only run 6 out of the 10 laps.
Yeah, so I couldn't go.
Trying to make evens the playing field a little bit.
Yeah, I couldn't go get like David Knight or Juha Salmonen or Charlie Mullins or Caleb Russell or somebody myself and go out and maybe ride a lap and then have them run the rest of the race and be considered a team hare scramble champion of the world.
That's exactly right. I mean, U-Haul called me and asked me if I would ride it with him one year and wanted me to ride most of the laps. And I said, I just can't do it. It's just not right.
Whenever you're a ringer like that, Drew, you have that sometimes,
I know, and it's terrible being saddled with that as a ringer, but, I just choose not to ride much more, and it works out better for me, I think.
I think so. Now, this event, like we say, it's a lot of fun, and it is kind of serious all at the same time. I mean, motorcycles are coming up on Saturday, and you'll have mini cycle classes, father and son mini and motorcycle classes, and then you'll also have like the A and B classes and things, and age classes and things like that, I guess, huh?
Right, yeah, we start out the day with our mini cycles in the morning, and it's an hour and a half race, and then we have 2 motorcycle sessions. Our morning session is the novice riders and the age classes and father and son class. Our father and son class gets between 25 and 30 teams every year, and those people just want to come out and ride with their son and have a good time. And we have some people that are, pretty decent riders that but the top 5 teams go at it pretty well. But for the most part, they just won't come out and ride with their son, and it's more of a loving deal between a father and a son more than it is a motorcycle race.
Right.
And that's pretty cool. And then we run micros at 12:30 to 1:30, and then we run our father and son mini class. And that thing, that's the one that's so. We have a lot of riders for that thing as well, for that class. And the father rides the big bike, and the kid rides the little bike. The kids start the race, and it's always a little bit. I don't know. We go into that class with a little bit of caution, and always have, and just tell the dads that if you're on the big bike and you're going to be out there with kids on little bikes, and just to be careful, and they've always been respectful of the little kids, and it's that's a great class, and we've had a lot of fun with that one. And then our afternoon classes when we run the pros and the faster classes, and that's the one the pro class is usually the class where we crown the championship for the motorcycles.
Yeah, that's always a lot of fun, and a lot of people take a lot of pride in that too. I mean, we've had some pretty big names travel through there over the course of years. I mean, we've had local guys from the district win it that came out of it. Mark Hyde always seems to come down and compete and be a part of a world championship team of some sorts. He races, I think, 2 classes in a couple different divisions or something, and allows him to race a couple different times a day. And we've seen Scott Summers there before. I think Rodney Smith, Scott Plessinger, a lot of these guys for old GNCC school dudes used to come and race on the motorcycle side, ATV side. Seen, I think, probably Barry Hawk's been there, and several of the other guys over the course of the years.
Who's won it more than anybody?
Who's that?
Jeff Russell and Terry Cunningham as partners.
You're kidding me. Trail boss Jeff Russell from...
Yeah, I think he and Terry won it 4 out of the first 5 years. I think they won it 3 years in a row, and then I think Kevin Brown and Gino Nail won it the 4th year, and then I think Jeff and Terry won it again the 5th year. We used to have I do have a rotating trophy, and I've always been going to update that, so we have that to hand out, but just haven't gotten done. But yeah, Jeff and Terry, as far as I know, as teammates, they won more than anybody. So, they won the first year, and I think the first 3 in a row.
Wow. That's pretty impressive there. That'd be pretty neat to get those guys teamed back up if you can get – I'd say Jeff Russell's probably someplace fishing about right now, if truth be known.
Yeah, I think you're right. And something else is if you go to actionsportsracing.com, my website, we've got some videos on there. And Dave Despain, who does Wind Tunnel currently, had a show called Motor Week Illustrated. And he featured we had a 5-minute segment on Motor Week Illustrated, and it shows Terry and Jeff during that show, and I'm on there. I had hair down to my shoulders, and I forgot the champagne that year, and got a little crap from that. So, yeah, if they go on the website, they can watch that part of that TV show.
actionsportsracing.com. Now, there you'll be able to find all the information. It's got downloadable flyers. It's got directions. It's got class information. It's got sponsor information. It's got everything, probably every question that you want to ask on there, huh, Drew?
Yeah, pretty much. Basically the rules are on there, and there's not a whole lot to it. There's only 2 riders on the team, and you can run 1 bike or 2 bikes. It doesn't matter. The riders, as long as they meet the class requirements of that team, like if an A rider rides with a B rider, then they're going to have to ride the A class. If they're riding a big bike and a little bike, they're going to have to ride the bigger bike class. Just for the advantages is what we try to take care of and team them up in that. We have a relay tag. It's like it's just a canvas tag with your number on it, and the rider has to have that tag when they go through the scoring barrel to get scored. And then whatever rider on that team is out on the course has to have that tag. And then when they come into our inbound area, they take the tag and they give it to their other rider, and then the rider can proceed out onto the racetrack. So that's basically it. It's we make sure each team has an A and a B rider, and when we score them, we score them as number 101A and 101B, and we keep track of how many laps the A and the B rider have, so we know that they're riding within 1 lap at 50%, and basically that's it.
That's pretty neat, man. I mean, and are you guys going to be doing electronic scoring also? So it'll be pretty much easy to keep up with, easy to score.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
And then you'll be announcing, and I think my son Kyle will be announcing, and we'll keep track of everything. We've got a good PA system, and the good thing about this racetrack is it runs. We run Grand Prix at this facility, and we're running our entire Grand Prix course, which goes on and off of our motocross track about 4 times a lap.
Wow! So
it's a great spectator track, and you can stand in 1 or 2 places and see your rider. They're never out of your way, out of your sight for more than a minute or 2. And on for a Grand Prix, and for this Team Hare Scramble, it'll be about the same, maybe a little bit longer. But it's a great place to spectate, and then we do real-time scoring and announce everything that's going on all day long, and it should be it's a good track to spectate on.
Well, that's great, man. I know that's probably pretty important for people that that aren't familiar with maybe woods racing or hare scrambles racing, or they say, well, you don't ever get to see the racing. It sounds like that you've taken that spectator into mind, kind of like almost sounds like a clover leaf that they try to do a lot of times at the GNCC to get them in and out of the pits, like you say, so you can see your riders a lot more often.
Yeah, and that's what we try to do. And this is a big event, and we'll probably get away with charging $15 at the gate or whatever, but we try to make it affordable, and we realize things are tough, and and we don't want to raise our gate ever if we can help it to more than $10, and we hope that is a kind of a incentive or encouragement for people to bring their family members and make it more affordable, and we just want to try to get big numbers. And I mean, I make no bones that I want to make some money doing stuff, but we want to make it so a rider can bring their entire family if they want to, and not break the bank doing it.
Exactly. I like the sounds of that, and it looks like you got some pretty good sponsors. You got the Hatfield McCoy Trails back with you. I see the Impact Solutions, those Elka Factory suspension folks are sponsoring. Those are good people. I like those guys a lot. They really helped out QuadRadio a bunch, and several good sponsors, as a matter of fact. And so this event continues to show promise as we approach wrapping up nearly 3 decades of this. And with that, Drew, this was not your first event, your first stab in the dark as far as promotion event, I wouldn't think, right? Because you've been around for quite some time, and as you mentioned early in the interview, you come from the sort of the arena cross world, kind of helped spark that.
Well, the first arena cross I did, it was in Columbus, Ohio in 1984, and it grew to, it was definitely the largest in the United States, but I really think it was one of the largest arena cross type events in the world. And it was in Columbus, Ohio, at the Ohio Expo Center, where the fairgrounds is, and we would have 15,000 spectators over 3 days, and 1,200 riders was our normal crowd for years. And we had Chess Stanton and Mike LaRocco and Mike Brown and Brock Sellards, and we had a who's who of top riders that went on to stardom at our events, and it was quite. I was very proud of the event. And it was beyond anything that I saw coming, I guess. And then we went on to run them in Dayton and Toledo and Louisville, and we've done one in Huntington, West Virginia. That does very well.
And Huntington. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, we built a series that. Someone else wanted, and we ended up into the people that are Feld Entertainment, and things aren't the way it used to be, and Feld doesn't even run any of those events. There's no, they have no events in Ohio anymore, which is kind of a shame. And I don't know, I hope things turn around and the economy gets better and things come back, but I don't know. We'll just have to play that one by ear and see what happens. I'd like to get again, and my boys are 20 and 22 now, and they want to do more. And actually, this racetrack that we're at now, we call the Action Sports Moto Park. I was going to run my Team Hare Scramble there, and they wanted to do more. And I said, well, if you want to do more and you guys really help do it, then I'll make you guys partners. So my two sons are 50% partners in this endeavor out here, and it's been a lot of fun, and they're learning how to deal with people and run equipment and water trucks, and I've seen firsthand all the problems that you can come up with, and it's been a good learning experience for them and a lot of fun for all three of us.
I don't doubt it. It's been probably a great bonding experience for you to be able to do that, man. I mean, you started this out. I mean, it's always been a family affair for you, I guess, huh?
Yeah, even when I started, the first year that I ran races was in 1979, and my younger brother and I basically started it, and we just kind of went on from there, and I don't know, it's been tough, and there was a lot of times we were fixing motorcycle racetracks with a tractor and a blade and a shovel and a rake, and watering a track with a pump that I'm not sure I want to know where it came from, and hose that the fire department threw away, and we always did everything we could and still do to make the track as good as it can possibly be, and try to cater to the riders as much as possible. And we take a lot of pride in what we do, and just hope people come and check it out.
Yeah, and that's coming up this weekend again, the 28th annual Team Hare Scramble Championship of the World. I can actually say it now, Drew.
Yeah, I changed the name a year or so ago, and just as you caught on to getting it right, I threw a wrench in the works, so I changed it back to the original name just for you.
Oh, I appreciate that. It's hard to teach an old dog.
For the first year, Rodney, we're doing all of our two-wheel stuff on Saturday, and then the ATV riders always wanted a two adult quad sessions, and we just didn't have time in the day because we ran our motorcycle stuff and our quad stuff on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
This year we kind of switched it up and put the motorcycles on Saturday, and now we're running two adult quad sessions. We're running all the age sessions first, and then the A, B, and C and Pro in the afternoon, and that's where we'll get the world champion for the ATV division out of that afternoon session.
Wow, that'll be pretty sweet. Now, do you have any confirmation on some of the folks that's going to be coming?
I think I'm pretty sure that Walker Fowler is going to be here. We heard that. I can't think of the names. The Honda rider from Parkersburg, he is going to ride with
like maybe some of the Henthorns and some of those boys. Are they coming over? The Bidwell Bullet.
Let me see. Walker Fowler is supposed to be here, and I'm asking my son right now who. I guess we heard that McGill and Duvall are supposed to ride bikes on Saturday and ATVs on Sunday.
Nuh-uh. No way.
We heard that they were going to ride that.
So Adam McGill.
I don't know.
Now I know that they are good friends. I do know that McGill and Duvall are good friends, and I did have Thad Duvall on QuadRadio there last week, and he had mentioned that he was wanting to race an ATV at Loretta Lynn's. So maybe, just maybe, that might be what's going to be going on there. That'll be pretty cool to see. That's going to be rather historical. Chad Duvall's son, Thad Duvall, making a switch from a bike to a four-wheeler. That would be pretty cool, I think, man. That'll be historical, man. You got a history-making event ready to come on here, dude.
Well, that's all we've ever wanted to do is make history around here.
You've done a good job of that, to say the least. Hey, man. So that's. I mean, maybe we can get some more names on. I'm gonna get those guys on together, and we'll probably have a QuadRadio live with those guys some point this week. I'm gonna amp it up this week, and we're gonna talk a lot about this, Drew. And I'll send you some information. Maybe you can pipe in anytime you want. But at any rate, before we get off here today, I do want to hit on the fact that coming up here in Huntington, you made mention we were talking about the arena crosses, Columbus, and all the surrounding areas. A few years ago, you actually were able to revive the Big Sandy Superstore Arena with the Action Sports Arena Cross Racing coming back to town there.
Yeah, when I sold out to the people that are now Feld, it was Pace Motorsports back then. They were there for a while, and then they didn't go back to the building, and the building called and asked if I would come back. So I checked with the people that I sold to, and they said, we're not going back, and it's cool if you do, and everything was good. So I went back in 2006, and it wasn't real popular at that time, and it's gotten stronger every year since 2006.
Yeah.
And it's a good event and a ton of spectators, and we don't get the riders like we used to. We used to get close to 700 riders over 2 days, and now it's a little over 400. But that's just the sign of the times and the way it is, and everything's more expensive, but it's still a great event and very exciting and very popular event in Huntington, West Virginia.
Right. And, since this is QuadRadio and everything, you know what the next question's going to be, don't you there, Drew?
Go ahead and ask it.
Are we ever going to see quads racing in Huntington, West Virginia, man? I know that the idea has been tossed around a little bit. Have you thought any more about that?
Well, we tried it a couple of years ago, and we just didn't have enough. It's hard to run a motorcycle and an ATV on the same racetrack. If it gets ruddy, it's hard for the ATVs, and if it's hard packed, then it makes the corners slick for the motorcycles, and it's hard to make them live both on the same track. And we tried it in Huntington, West Virginia, probably in 07 or 08, and we just didn't have very many that showed up. And then we tried to, last year we put the offer out there that we would run a separate day on Sunday if we had enough people pre-enter. And I don't know that we had anybody pre-enter. And we put it out there. If there was enough, we would run an extra day. We would run it on Sunday and give them their own show, because we run Friday and Saturday now. We can run on Sunday.
Yeah.
But we just can't advertise it and take the risk of doing it unless we know we're going to have enough people to make it work.
Be nice if you could get a few big names to say they'd be there. Guys like Chad Weenan and I know Josh Upperman, Thomas Brown, and a handful of those guys. Man, you get a few guys there, you're going to put on a heck of a show. There's no doubt about it. We'll see what we can do. We'll put the call out there, man. And if folks are interested in it, Drew, what can they do?
Well, I guess what we would do is put. Come up with some classes and figure out the ones that make the most sense. But to get a bunch of pros, that means I'm going to have to pay some purse, and I'm not opposed to doing that. As you well know, that we've always been big in the arena cross of paying a bunch of money to the top riders. But the thing to reinforce that is you got to have a bunch of amateur riders to back that up, and that's what we're sadly lacking on.
Yeah. And
so if we come up with the right classes and we get people to pre-enter, and then if they, and I think the thing that scares people the most is if they pre-enter and then we don't run, they've lost their money. Well, that certainly wouldn't be true. We just send them their money back. But if they want to race indoors, we're going to have to come up with 150 or 200 entries to make it so it's even feasible.
All right.
And if that worked out, we'd love to do it.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. I know that I'd sent the word out there a little bit ago, a couple of weeks, a month or two ago, whenever you'd asked me about doing one on, I guess it was the weekend of Thanksgiving. And with the National Awards Banquet and everything, I didn't think that was going to work out. But I did get a lot of responses. I will say that. I had people as far as Illinois, Missouri. I know the Root River team, I know that they were all amped up for it. I know that Nick Moser from out west was amped up for it. And a lot of the local guys, folks from around here, I was getting a lot of response from as well. I think you might be surprised. If we can get the word out there, you might get more interest in that than what you might realize, Drew. So we might work on that for you. We'll just have to wait and see. I'll tell you what, Rodney at QuadRadio.com, if you're seriously interested in something like that, get the information. Get your information to me, and anybody that might be interested in that, maybe you can get a petition going out on Facebook or Twitter or something like that, and we can shake Drew around a little bit and say, "Hey, man, let's have an indoor ATV motocross race this coming January." Right?
Yep.
Okay, sounds good. And that indoor race is January 4th and 5th?
4th and 5th.
Friday and Saturday night.
Friday and Saturday.
And what we're proposing is the possibility of a ATV race on the 6th. If anybody out there is interested, we'd love to maybe work something up that. So we'll talk about that a little later on. All right, Drew?
Sounds good to me.
All right, buddy. Again, this weekend, the 28th Annual Team Hare Scramble Championship of the World, the most fun on 2 and 4 wheels. Saturday will be the 2-wheel Saturday. All youth mini-cycle classes, father and son, mini and motorcycle classes are going to be taking place. On Sunday, for the first time ever in history, it is expanded to a second day for the ATVs. Walker Fowler will be there. It's rumored that also it looks like Thad Duvall is and Adam McGill are going to be racing both days, going to be going for dual world championships out there, which will be something pretty neat. And they'll also have all the youth and ATV classes, father, son, and mini ATV and adult ATV classes. Drew, correct me if I'm wrong, if Thad Duvall and Adam McGill win a bike championship, and then on Sunday they win an ATV championship, that'd be the first time in history that ever happened, right?
That's exactly right.
Wow. See, look at the history that could be written there this weekend, man. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, buddy. Any parting shots, anything you want to say before we let you go today?
We're getting some rain right now, and it's just been a steady rain, and it's going to make that track fantastic. And the weather's supposed to be good all week leading up to the event after today. And I don't know of anything else that's going on, and we've got some advertisement out there, and it's a fun, exciting weekend of racing, and I think that people ought to come and give it a shot and just come and relax and have a good time.
I think you're absolutely right. That's Drew Wolf, ladies and gentlemen, from Action Sports Promotions, promoter extraordinaire, Drew Wolf. Again, this upcoming 28th Annual Team Harescramble Championship of the World. ATVs again on Sunday, motorcycles on Saturday. Reminding you again, if you want an ATV indoor race in Huntington, West Virginia on January 6th, get a hold of me, Rodney at QuadRadio.com, and or get a hold of Kyle Wolf on Facebook if you know him, or go to Action Sports Promotions webpage and get an email address there. But whatever you do, let us know that you want to see something like that happen. We might be able to make something like that happen. In the meantime, we will see you up there this Saturday at this Harescramble Championship of the World. I'll be there announcing, as Drew had said. We've got some big things coming up on Quad Radio this week as well. We'll be talking to several different folks. Quad Radio Live on Wednesday night as well at 9 o'clock. And it's going to be kind of sporadic all week, but I got some big things going on. Going to try to get some Baja guys on here this week because I think they wrapped that up last week. And also got a snowcross racer that may be, it might be transitioning from four wheels to the snow. We'll talk with Travis Moore a little later this week. And also Two Wheel Tuesday coming up tomorrow night. I have got Stu Baylor scheduled for a Two Wheel Tuesday on Quad Radio. I know, we're knocking two wheels off of it, and we're not couch racing anymore, but that's okay. We will embrace this brother because he is a fan and a friend of the ATV racing world. Like I say, that'll do it for Quad Radio today. For Drew Wolf, I'm Rodney Tomlin. This is Quad Radio.